Hello and welcome to the October 1st edition of the Index Sports Show. I'm Blake Toppmeyer, Editor-in-Chief of the newspaper. As always, Jack Nicholl, Sports Editor, and back from a 2-week sabbatical, Brent Foster, Assistant Sports Editor. And this week we have special guests on the show, head volleyball coach Ben Briney. Coach, thanks for being with us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Team this year kind of off to an up and down start. Overall, you still got the winning record. You're at 12-6. This past weekend, kind of lost a surprising match, in my opinion. Lost 3-2 against Missouri Southern. But then you bounced back the next night and won at home 3-1 against Pitt State. So, I mean, can you talk about that a little bit? What went wrong in that Southern match, and I guess how did you recover the very next night to beat a pretty good Pitt team?
Well, I got to give Southern credit. They took care of opportunities we gave them, and they've got two very good outside hitters, and too many times we gave them easy opportunities to score points, and those outside hitters ripped balls on us. We have been going kind of on a roller coaster. We're up and then we're down. We're up and then we're down. And part of that's just being young. Part of that is people learning to step up, and instead of being back in the shadows or role players, they have to learn, okay, now I am the go-to person, and I'm going to take that opportunity and I'm going to run with it. I told the girls after the match against Southern, we walk out of this locker room, it's over with. Forget about it. Because we have to do that because we got Pitt coming in 24 hours. And the girls did an incredible job of coming in the next day ready to go. You know, Pitt's a very, very good team, a little bit different team than normal. They don't quite have as many athletes as they normally have.
Right.
But still very, very good team, play great defense. Ebe likes to run what's called a 3-middle system, so he's got players playing in different positions all over the place. And the girls came in ready to go in game one. Had a bit of a letdown in game two, but came out of the locker room really with a different focus and were able to take the match.
Now, one of the things in that Pitt State match, Megan Sharp was kind of back to her normal self.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Pitek was playing well. Those two players didn't see a whole lot of time in the Missouri Southern match. You said after the match it was kind of lineup changes was the reason they didn't play too much. Can you elaborate a little more on that? I mean, was it injuries? Was it just performance? And what was the deal, I guess, with Pitek and Sharp?
Well, with Ashley was struggling on setting.
Mm-hmm.
Her setting, her timing was just a little bit off. She was a little inconsistent with her sets. So we've got 3 very capable setters. So I decided to go with the setter change.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as that went, Kylie and Krista did a very, very good job in that match. Megan once again was struggling a little bit, and I decided, you know what, we've got other middles here, and if you look at stats, I believe Emily Brasino hit 500 and Johanna hit 387. So we didn't drop off at all in the middle blocker position, and that's huge for down the road, because there may come a point, regionals, you know, match at the end of the season that determines whether we win conference or not, where someone goes down with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a great learning experience to know if I put those kids in, they're ready to go.
Right.
Coach, the team started out with the 6-2 formation this year, and you switched to the 5-1 for a few matches, and then back to the switch to 6-2. You just talk about why the switch was made and the differences between the two formations?
At that time of the season at Washburn, we came out of the locker room and I decided to switch the 6-2 or the 5-1 because we weren't getting production on the outside. No one was putting the ball away on the pin, and so I moved Lauren Graybeal. She, in the locker room in between sets 2 and 3, said put me on the outside. Mm-hmm. So I went with it and said, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's run a 5-1. And worked out real well. And it's that time in the season when we needed something to kind of jumpstart us, to really change the feel of the team, and it worked. We had Washburn right where we wanted them. I think we were up 21-17 in Game 4 to take it to Game 5. And Washburn kind of righted the ship a little bit, but took it to Fort Hays, beat SBU with it. But Southern, it was kind of time to switch back. They had some big outside hitters, and so the decision was made to switch back to it. And I knew we'd have to switch back to it eventually, but it was one of those things at the time, you know what, it gives us Megan up front with just the outside hitter and her in the setter, and so she can run a lot of stuff behind, and so it really gets her on a lot of where she's basically beating people to the pin. And at that time, it was what we needed, worked out. Now we're back to the 6-2, but it's good to know we can switch to the 5-1 and be successful with it.
You talked a little bit earlier about Megan Sharp. Can you elaborate a little bit more on her and how she's played this season, maybe how she compares to Ali Shervin at this stage in her career?
Megan's really come in and just taken her role and just held on to it. You never know when you recruit somebody really how good they're going to be. I knew Megan. I'd watched her since she was a junior, and I knew the ability was there. She hadn't played volleyball long, so you often wonder, okay, how's she going to do? You know, college is different. You're not necessarily going to be able to jump over everybody. How's it going to work out? And she just came in and said, you know what? I'm going to be the middle blocker, and I'm going to take care of business. The difference between her and Allie was a big, physical, powerful, I'm going to hit the ball through you, I'm going to break your fingers, I'm going to break your nose. That's just the way she was. Megan is quick and fast. She hits the ball, when she gets a hold of it, she can crank it like Allie, but she's going to beat you with speed. She has the ability to jump over you too, and so it kind of makes her a double threat, because you're like, all right, I'm going to anticipate her being here, and so then I got the block set, and then she hits over me. So it's great because it gives the conference a different look also, because they're used to the Allies and Lisas who just power through balls, and now we've come at them with our formulas we have this year of just nothing but speed.